So I'm just chilling, and Kitty has decided my boob is a perfect place to take a nap. Is it comfy? She's so goddamn cute. Hello, everybody. Hello, my name is Yashiroreaper, and welcome to the stream! Happy Valentine's Day, everybody! I'm gonna be switching it over. I'm just editing stream shit and then also tweeting that we're live. But hello, my darlings. Turn on my puck lights. One of them's almost dead. I'll replace its batteries in a second here. Yes, I understand. Your batteries are almost dead. So, Kofi stream. So, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Alright, as you can probably tell from looking at my thing, we are going to be doing some, obviously, love-themed art. Yay. I pulled up, basically, right before the stream started, because I always start drawing before the stream, because I have no self-control. I started drawing, and, who did I start with? Started with, some art from my OCs from my webcomic series that I'm turning into a book, because I realized I cannot keep up with a consistent schedule on webcomics. And it's just sucking the life out of the project for me, so I was like, I'm going to switch this to something that I actually feel like I'd be motivated to do. So I thought, hey, I like writing. If you don't know, I write fan fictions constantly. And I have currently 1, 2, 3, 4 current series that are updated on about a monthly basis. So yeah, I'm doing better at writing than I am drawing comics. So I thought, if drawing these as comics is sucking the life out of the projects for me, why don't I turn them into books? So my whole plan is basically to write them out, and I'll do drawings for it as it goes along, and then I'll probably publish them as books. And yeah, that's gonna be the whole thing. I might look into, like, I don't know if there's any, like, digital book companies that would take, like, digital copies of my books. But that's gonna be a project down the line. If I really get into it, I might look up doing a Patreon account for it, or a Kickstarter for the books. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's all up in the air currently, so I'm drawing some art of one of the main couples for the series. Mostly because I think they're cute. And then I'm probably going to also do some Transformers ship art. Because welcome to my life, people. Also, I'm drinking coffee because I clearly needed it today because I totally forgot my laundry in my building's laundry machine for like 3 hours, and I never do that. I usually set timers, but today I forgot because I'm a dumbass. So, I'm just going to sit here and drink this really sugary coffee that I made and regret my life choices. Also, do you like my ZZZ mug? I got it at the dollar store. Because that's where I live my life now. I work there, I buy a lot of stuff there. I have no self-decency right now. I ordered Burger King and ate like a kid's Burger King meal and then an adult Burger King meal for breakfast. That I woke up 3 hours late for, and then just sat for like a good 2 hours in my bed reading fan fictions while my cat laid on me. That was my excuse for not getting up. I'm like, well, my cat got comfy, so I guess I'm stuck here. I guess I could continue reading fan fictions like I was doing till midnight last night. Welcome to my life, people. I live alone. No one judges me. So I've lost all sense of human decency. Alright. We're just gonna jump right back into art. Because that's how we roll. Also, I had to buy a new tablet pen because my other one went fucking missing. I posted a tweet about it, but like not a lot of people read it because, hey, I'm not that good on Twitter. But hey, yeah, my pen, I don't know where it is, to be quite honest. I looked for it for like 3 days in a row. Could not find it. Eventually gave up and bought a new tablet pen for like $30. So now I've got a new pen. Yay. I still wonder where my old one went. I honestly don't know. Yes, this is just like doodly stuff right now. I don't know why this fit for me right now with these characters. I just looked at this and went, alright, I'm just gonna do a bunch of post stuff for my 2 main characters in my webcomic. Well, 2 of the main characters anyways.
Between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your heart.
I'm using their later designs because their early designs are mostly before they actually start a relationship, so I'm like trying to keep it up with the canon of the thing. And since I'm here, I might as well talk about like the whole idea that is the Shadows, I guess. Like, the Shadows was originally a webcomic. It's going to be slowly adapted into a serialized series because I just, God bless all the people that can do webcomics. Like, my best friend does it, and like even she like gets exhausted with doing webcomics. But like, I can't. It sucks out all the creative energy I had for like my series, and I do not like that. Especially considering like this is one I came up with like over a decade ago. Like the first drafts of it I was doing back in high school. And I was in high school for 5 years. And like this is like the first couple years of high school where I was really into doing this. And I graduated high school almost a decade ago. So yeah, like it's been 6-7 years? 7? I want to say 7 years. 7 years since I graduated high school, and I'm like still, yeah, I was very disappointed that like I originally was planning on doing like a webcomic and then like having my best friend draw it, but my best friend and me, like, even back then she was like, I'm probably not gonna do it, and I was like, aw, but like your art is awesome and I hate my art. And then on like university I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna draw it, and then I started it, and then I started it again when I lived here because I was like, hey, this is something I want to do. And then I realized I just hate doing webcomics. I just hate it. Webcomics is not my jam. Like, it sucks a lot of creative passion out of me to do webcomics. Like, it's just not my thing. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna have to think of another way to do this series, and I think I found it. Okay, yeah, this is not working. I got pretty far into like where I wanted to go with the series originally, and then I started doing redraws because I was like, I hate this. There's some plot things that I just did not do out because I just was so frustrated with trying to draw. So now I'm like, I want to do it correctly, but like, people. But I'm gonna just explain basic plot things right now. These two characters I'm drawing, the girl is Amy and the boy is Seth. And Amy is what is considered a half, which is basically she is half human, half this subspecies of humans, I want to call it. Like, similar to, like, if you want to say, like, X-Men-y kind of things where, like, the mutants are... But it's not, like, randomly happens to people. It is, like, genetic, entirely genetic. Like, these are basically sister species that grew off of each other. There's the humans that grew up, and then there's the shadows. Same common ancestry, but they're different species, technically. They're just so close in, like, every biological way that they can, like, reproduce pretty easily and not have fucking horrible results. And, Amy, her father was Shadow, and her mother is human. And then there's Seth, he is entirely Shadow. And the reason I compare it to X-Men, not because of, like, the weird powers that they have, it's also because I took a bit of inspiration from that, and mostly, I want to say, like, the weirdest part of this is that, like, I used to be a really, really big geek into World War II history, okay? I know everyone's like, oh, you're into World War II history? Yes, I was. I was one of those weird kids that's, like, really fascinated by the subject when I was younger. And that's actually where the inspiration came from. And also, in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's, like, this one fucking alien hunter dude that's, like, actually a veteran of the fucking American Civil War kind of thing. And, like, has basically made himself immortal. That's also an inspiration. But basically, before the actual plot of the story comes out, for the main plot of the series, there was an incident about 50 years before the plot actually begins, where it was said that a shadow went insane and killed a bunch of people. And this act of violence made all the humans very scared, and this fucking immortal dick was like, hey, I've been wanting to destroy these kinds of people for years. Here, like, I've basically been giving a chance on a silver platter, and he kind of brainwashes the masses into thinking that, hey, these shadows are clearly dangerous and we need to control them. So at first it starts off with, like, kind of similar to Jim Crow laws being passed, and then, like, other discriminatory acts are taken out. Basically, think of it like how America treated African Americans, that kind of thing. Except it was, like, almost no restrictions, and then it went to tons. Like, it had been, like, subtle things that it was just kind of like they were kind of on, not entirely on easy terms, but just, there's definitely people that have prejudices, like, think modern day anti-Semitism kind of deal. Like, there was definitely tension, but it wasn't, we were out to kill you kind of tension. And after this, like, it slowly develops into that. And, Amy's father is, like, escaped right as the ghettos, I want to call them, similarly, like, similar style to the, like, ghettos of, like, World War II. The, like, fucking, shadows were put into them. And, like, right before they're closed down, he and his brother escape, pretending to be humans, and, like, and all the other shadows are either forced into what is first are called camps, and then, like, there are also ones that just fled underground. because the story takes place in New York City, so like they flee into like the homeless population, flee into the sewer systems, abandoned subways, that kind of deal. And basically they hid. And like that's like where the story starts, is like there are these people that are being discriminated against, and Amy is not okay with it. As like, my dad had to leave my family. Like, when she's born, her dad flees to try to almost get the heat off of them, because he's like, if she grows up and she has powers, and they will hunt her down, if I run now and make myself seem sketchy and take everything away from them, they'll be fine. That kind of reasoning. So he ends up fleeing and like causing shit to basically keep them off the trail of his newborn daughter. But this in turn sends Amy's mother, who is a very young mother, like I think I took inspiration from my actual mother, who had my sister when she was 16. And I think, yeah, I made the mother 16 when it happens. And like, she's very young and is like thrown into like a very deep depression of like partial prenatal depression, partial my partner, who I love, who I abandoned my family for, has just basically like run out, and I don't know how to deal with it, and she goes into a very, very bad depression. And like Amy, she doesn't particularly like, she feels like the society is at blame for her father leaving, and also she also slightly blames him. Like, that was the best plan you could come up with, was to leave your just born daughter and your very frightened, very alone partner and just run off. that was the best thing you could come up with. And like Amy starts to go around hunting basically the version of the Gestapo kind of thing. They're called SCA agents, aka Shadow Control Agency agents. And I took that from the Earth Protection Force from Teenage Ninja Turtles. Cough, cough. Yes, I did. And yeah, that's kind of where the basic story starts off. Is Amy's going around hunting, trying to make sure more shadows aren't captured, and basically sticking it to the government. And her mother is also like secretly like a fucking gangster. Like, her mother runs a fucking gang of basically shadows that escaped everything, but also can't make it fully on the surface, and just kind of, they became mobsters. And like Amy's mother is like one of the top, like, she's a fucking mob boss and like takes no shit. Like, after she gets out of her depression, she decides to like, she's like, I need to do something. My partner left because of them, and then just, she's like, I'm going to make them fucking suffer, and goes fucking beast mode. This woman is a strong, independent woman. If you take her man, she will fucking destroy you. That's also why Amy kind of grew up having. Amy's got a certain complex of like, she's like, thinks she's strong. She's strong, but she also thinks she's strong enough that she doesn't have to like adhere to a lot of shit. Where she's like, no, it's fine. I'm strong. I can handle this. And everyone else is like, no, please, no. She's just like, it's fine. And everyone's like, no, it's not. No, it's really not. It's really not. She was taught to be a tough, independent woman. And then it backfired because her mom's like, oh shit, I made her too independent. I've created my own monster kind of deal. Let's get the last one of these guys. And then Seth's backstory is that like his father is like a leader of one of the like hidden groups of shadows among the things, and there are 3 clans of shadows, like 3 different like I want to say types. I'm gonna say types. Types. And there is the animal tribes. They are shadows that have the ability, like they all have, like this one special ability kind of main thing that is kind of the reason they're named that. There is the animal tribes, which are groups of shadows that one of their main abilities is that they all have an animalistic trait to some animal, and they can all basically, the animal traits that they have is an animal that they can turn pretty much entirely into. And then we have the weapon clan, which is basically the same thing. They are able to turn into a certain kind of weapon or item kind of deal. Like, it's not just like blades or something like that. It is, they're called generally the weapon clan, but they can turn into like things like wrenches, that kind of thing, like basic inanimate objects. Most of the time they're weapons of some sort, and this means like if like they're say a sword, they can make blades produce out of them, got that kind of thing, like Soul Eater kind of deal. And then there are the demon clan, and the demon clan are known for having the most issues, and it's actually a demon clan that caused the massacre that is the reason behind the society being able to put the crackdowns down. And they are known to go insane and have more kind of psychokinetic abilities, and like are known for being just crazy motherfuckers. And both Amy and Seth, like Seth is pureblood demon clan, and Amy, her father, was part of the demon clan. And then, yeah, Seth later on, like he has some instances where he loses his fucking mind. Same with Amy. Amy's not as vulnerable to it, being only half, but like there's an issue. Other kind of lore details I want to give out. Oh yeah. This show also has a lot of supernatural elements, like not just like the beings with like subspecies abilities, like humans that have special abilities, not just that. It also tells into like some religious-y kind of things. Like Seth, when he was little, his mother was, well, he and his mother were on the surface gathering things. His mother was killed by an SCA agent, which drove him to fucking commit murder as a, like, small child. Out of, like, pure fucking rage of, like, my mom's gone, you just killed my mom in front of my fucking eyes. And he just fucking loses it. And then afterwards, he is, like, traumatized as any small child would be. I think I made, how old was he? I think he was 8. Yeah, he was 8 when it happened. So he's 8 years old, his mother is killed brutally in front of his eyes, and he fucking loses it and kills the agents that killed his mother. But after this, he is, like, sent into an instant, like, depressive state of, oh my god, my mom is dead. My mom is dead, and it's my fault because she died protecting him. So he actually has, like, a big survivor's guilt kind of complex. And as a young child, he's like, I can't go home. I can't go home. Like, if I go home, people are going to blame me for what happened. Kind of like how Scar is able to trick Simba into like running away forever. That kind of deal. And he tries to kill himself. But when he tries to, he is possessed by what I call them Spiritus. I'm trying to remember the Latin. Spiritus Vigilum? I think? No. Spiritus. I can't remember, but it basically means Spirit Guardian. And the Spirit Guardian, like, possesses him and is able to use his abilities to save himself from death. And basically, he's now tied to Seth eternally to try to make sure, like, this kid doesn't fucking die. But this Spiritus guy, this Guardian, is fucked in the head. He died after a similar thing where his mother had been brutally killed, and it wasn't like he was in front of it, he came home and found, like, her body and freaked the fuck out. And, like, he was so scared and upset, and like he spiraled out of control, being a demon clan as well, and actually killed in the act of like freaking the fuck out. So like in a way they're kind of similar. And his mother was killed by I can't remember when I made it. It was like kind of similar to Jack the Ripper kind of guy, where he's just going around killing women and like stealing parts of them. And he like goes insane and is killed by a human cop who's like, what the fuck? I need to stop this kid from going around murdering people. And then he has like it out for humans, and with Seth's body he occasionally tries to enact the things he wanted, like killing off humanity, that kind of thing. And they're both kind of fucked. And yeah, that's kind of Seth's deal. And then there's some other stuff. Now we're gonna finish this. You ever did that where you're working on a piece and then you realize, yeah, this is gonna take me the rest of eternity to do?
And a mind full of dreams. I was always told that life ain't anything that it seems. So I'm gonna live for me, yeah. I'm gonna live for me, yeah.
Save these as Clip Studios. But yeah, anyways, happy Valentine's Day. Seth and Amy meet after Seth is like doing something with his brother's topside. I can't remember what I said it. I don't even think I really explained it. I just said their topside. And Amy finds them after they're getting cornered by SCA agents, and of course kicks their asses because that's what she do. And Seth is like, I didn't need saving, broad. And she's like, bitch, don't fucking start with me. But his brothers kind of are like, oh, thank you very much, miss. Yeah, and she's like, you guys are sweet. Hey, everyone, I'm talk again. Here's a meeting place. Meet me there tomorrow night, and leaves because she's got shit to do. She goes there, and like Seth's brothers have talked him into going because they're like, well, she saved our lives. Like, we should really go and meet her again and thank her properly. And he's like, ah, fine. And he has 4 brothers. No, 3. He's the 4th. Yeah, 3. They're quintuplets. They're named Danny, Maxie, Leon, and Seth. Those are all 4 of the brothers. And Seth is technically the oldest. No, he's the second eldest. His brother that's the eldest is blind. And considering the circumstances Shadows are in, that is considered a liability. So Seth has kind of been put into the older brother role in every sense of the word. Like, he's responsible for everything his brothers do. If something ever happens, he's the one in charge, and he's the one that eventually is planned and is told that he's going to take over the family business, aka keeping this small community of Shadows safe. And like, him and his brother are fairly close. Him and his brothers are fairly close. Yeah, I forgot about that couple dynamic one. I could do that, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna scroll on through these, see if there's one that would be a nice one to do. But yeah, they eventually like develop a romance. Like, at first he's just like, I'll help you, you crazy broad, because I want them dead. And I'll help you, and she's like, fine, you can help me. And like, over time they start developing a relationship and actually begin to like each other and shit. There's a lot of angst in this series, because that's what I fucking write. I think this one would be cute. Let's do this drawing. I forgot about this one. I had it, and then I forgot about it, because that's what I do. That's what I do. I work on drawings, and I forget that I even did them, because that's what I do. Canvas properties. Resolution 600. Enter. And like, both Amy and Seth have a scar over one of their eyes. They have it different for different reasons. Amy has hers from a surgery she had to go through as a child. Meanwhile, Seth's is self-inflicted. Because Seth also has self-harm issues, which is one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, I made this character, and I gave him a tragic backstory, and then years later I'm like, you know what, if I gave him all this shit, I'm pretty sure. Like, I was trying to, one of my things was I want to make my characters, like, realistic. Like, they have fucking issues. Like, no one's really perfect in this. But, like, when I was doing Seth and I was, like, thinking about it, I'm like, this guy has been through so fucking much, and then he has so much on his shoulders. And I had two options. I was like, I can either give him, like, an obvious bad coping mechanism, or some sort of coping mechanism, or, like, well, basically I was picking between coping mechanisms in my brain. I was like, alright, he needs to have a coping mechanism for all this fucking trauma. What is it? And then I thought about it and went, he has survivor's guilt. He has the biggest survivor's guilt. Like, he thinks, like, it should have been him. This is the kind of guy that I think would probably have developed a symptom of self-harm, and that's his thing. He, like, him and Amy, like, one of their first breakthrough kind of moments is that Amy discovers his self-harm and is like, oh my god, and is like crying, like, are you okay, like, let me help you, like, you need help. And he's like trying to deny it, like, I don't fucking need help. And she's like, no, you fucking need help, you fucking need help. I'm not taking no for an answer. This is not one of those things where you get to choose. You fucking need help, and I'm going to do all that I can for you. And that's like one of those big things where he feels like for a while, like, Seth kind of sees Amy as someone that's just like constantly, like, they bicker a lot early on. And like, one of the big things they bicker about is, well, a lot of times Seth feels like Amy just treats him like a child, and because she has more experience when it comes to fighting, and he's more of a fucking juggernaut. Yeah, this is my boy Seth. And then Amy, she has different issues. Like, Amy very much has a murder complex. Like, you ever see that thing where it's like, where they're describing the responses for, like, I would die for you? Really? Please don't. That kind of thing. Amy would be on that list of I'd die for you first. That's just her kind of personality trait, is that she's kind of self-sacrificing for people. And it comes from, like, she watched her mother's bad spiral, and, like, she did a lot to try to save her mother when her mother was really ill. She was like, I need to do something. Mom needs me. I have to do something. And, like, she does. And it's one of the things that actually breaks through to her mother's, like, depressive state. And something her mother actually, like... It's kind of one of those, like, wake-up moments where her mother looks and, like, realizes what she's doing to not just herself, but to her kid, and is like, I need to fix my fucking life up, because look at what it's doing to my child. It's also, like, another reason I think, like, these two kind of work together is, like, they have slightly similar traumas, but, like, they both have that, I don't know how to describe it, but they both have a similar way of dealing with, like, their issues, and but because they do, they also kind of see how the other's doing it wrong, in a way. Like, they're like, you can't be doing this, and then they kind of realize, they're like, shit, I'm literally doing the exact same thing. Like, not to the same extent, but basically me and you are not that different. Like, we deal with this shit in a scarily similar way. Mother. Fucking hang up. I don't care. Research. You ain't getting my fucking bullshit. I'm busy. I got shit to do. It's Valentine's Day. Fuck off. I have a feeling I know who it is. Anyways. So yeah. This is my very much traumatized couple. Also, like, a lot of my cast is LGBT. Mostly because I am. So, like, I've got Seth's brother Maxie is trans. He was born a female. Decided he was male when he was very young. And basically, he got really, really badly ill, and it wasn't until one of his brothers stepped in and was like, confronted their dad and was like, you need to respect, like, if you don't, Maxie may not be around. And he's like, what do you mean, may not be around? And then he kind of has a wake-up call, and he fully embraces his son. But, like, when he was young, he was like, no, you're a girl. Because in a lot of ways, Maxie looks very remarkably similar to his, at that time, dead wife, and is like, no, you're a girl. You look exactly like your mother. You are a girl. And that, like, bothers Maxie, because for years he's, like, been told, like, you are just like your mother. You are just like your mother. You are just like your mother. Like, at one point, Amy, because she has special abilities to be able to see the dead, actually sees what their mother looks like, and like one of the first things she says to Maxie is like, you look almost exactly like your mother, and Maxie like breaks down and is like, please don't ever say that. And she's like, no, you have the same eyes, same hair, you are the boy version of your mother. And that actually makes him calm down, because he's like, he never heard anyone compare them other than saying you two are exactly alike in every way. And she's just like, no, you look almost exactly like your mother. Like, you have her hair, you have her curls, you have her eyes, you have her freckles, you have... And then stops there, and he's like, wait, you're not gonna say, like, you have her figure? And she's just like, no, you have her eyes. And that kind of is an issue for Maxie. Especially since she's, like, dead, and he understands, like, people are saying this as, like, almost kind of, like, isn't that nice? You look exactly like your mother who's gone. And he's, like, not taking it that way, because he's just, like, please, everyone, I don't want to look exactly like my mom. Meanwhile, Seth here is, like, this almost, like, the spinning image of his father. Like, there's only, like, a few people that Maxie will take the compliment of, you look just like mom, and one of them is Seth. Because he knows, like, Seth isn't saying, like, you look exactly like her, or, like, demeaning him for his, like, gender identity and that kind of stuff. No, he's just, like, almost kind of, like, fondly, like, you look exactly like mom, and that makes me feel better. And, like, Maxie kind of lets it go, because he's like, I think my brother, if my brother sees our mother in me, that's okay, because, well, I think my brother needs to have that kind of feeling where he's like, you look exactly like mom, like, almost to Maxie is like his brother's way of kind of calming his nerves down. So Maxie kind of lets it go for his older brother, and she's like, yeah. Bro's mostly saying that because, like, well, he misses mom, and watch mom die. So he can call me and say I look exactly like mom, because I think that helps him. And, like, Maxie loves Seth. Like, two of them are very close. Mostly because, like, when Maxie was little, people would call Maxie, like, you're such a pretty girl. Seth would be the first one to be like, no, that's my fucking brother. What the fuck you on about? Like, fuck off, that is my brother. Duh. And, like, he used to laugh at people when they call Maxie his sister. He'd be like, what are you guys talking about? That's my brother. So the two of them are also very close for that reason.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby.
Then we've got my girl, Amy. Amy is non-binary like me. Like, that kind of general idea of non-binary, of the one that I fall into, which is basically, I don't give a fuck about my gender, and I don't care what gender you think I am. Just don't be derogatory to me because of my, like, physical, like, biological gender. Like, you're gonna discriminate me because I have tits, you're gonna die. Yeah, Seth's favorite places for like cutting are always usually up in this kind of general area, like above his elbow. He usually, in early parts of the series, he always wears sleeves that go to about here, and most of his cuts stay from like this area up because of that. Because he's trying to make sure people don't see them, so he puts them in places where usually his clothes cover them. Another one I believe I made it was his inner thighs, because well, he's a dude. Most of his pants would cover that area, so like not many people see it. Like the only reason Amy sees it is because like she's treating him afterwards and then sees them as like, those aren't battle wounds. Those are not, that's not what this is. Also, Amy has ridiculously long hair. I don't know really. I think it was always part of her design that I made her have ridiculously long hair. Like, she has hair that, like, outside of her braid goes way past her feet. And it's not, like, thin either. It's thick. She's just got this ridiculously long, thick hair. And it's, like, one of her big traits for, like, a lot of her early life is that, like, she has this long hair. Like, I don't think it's until, like, later on, like, when she's older, that I thought about even getting rid of the hair. Like, I don't even think I have, like, actually thought about really getting rid of it. I was just tempted with it. Where I'm like, it'd be interesting, like, later on in her life that she just, like, gets rid of all this hair. And then I think about it and I'm like, do I really want to, like, get rid of all that hair? Because, I don't know, I like it in her design, so I'm, like, debating whether I'm going to keep it or not. Pretty sure I will, because I just like the way this character looks with long hair. Like, I've thought about it, and I've drawn a couple doodles here or there where I'm like, what about her with short hair? And then I hate them. It's one of those things where I just think, like, for her design and, like, how I feel about this character, long hair just fits her more. Like, I think the shortest she'd ever go would be, like, down to her butt. Like, out of a braid would be down to her butt. And that'd be, like, her considered, oh, it's short. Not entirely sure why I really like her with long hair. I just do. I don't know, I just think it fits her character more. Her romance is kind of like a slow burn one. I also kind of have a love rival, almost. I don't even want to call it that. I think it's more along the lines of, like, one of Amy's friends who is also half. Like, basically they've known each other since diapers, and, like, she is his first crush, and he just has a really hard time letting go of the fact that. It's like, no, I love you. And she's like, no, you really don't. You have a crush on me. You've had a crush on me for the last, like, decade. Like, you don't love me. You just like me. There's a difference. He's like, no, there isn't. And she's like, yes, there is. You, like, that's a kind of big deal. It's like he just has the biggest crush on her. And she's like, yeah, but I don't love you. And you don't love me. Like, come on. Like, I know this. Kind of deal. Like, this is the, wait for it to load. This is kind of the general outfit he wears for, like, a lot of the time, is he wears, like, long sleeve, occasionally white t-shirts, and, like, jeans and boots. Like, he's very much, I keep all this covered up. And meanwhile, Amy starts off wearing hoodies, and then I slowly switch her into wearing, like, kind of flannel-y cover-ups, that kind of thing. Her outfits evolve with her, but, like, for the first while, like, he sees her, she mostly wears, like, a hoodie and a pair of jeans. And then she switches to tights and t-shirts with flannel. And then as she gets older, she switches to other things. But it's just kind of like a general outfit change. Like, he starts to wear shorter sleeves and, like, V-cut things that, like, show off areas that he normally wouldn't. Although one of the things I kept him in is that he just really likes jeans. He likes jeans. It's his thing. He's like, I like these pants. Jeans are my thing. And she's just like, okay, yeah, they're your thing. Also, Amy has, like, these kind of pure gray eyes. And her hair is like a brunette-y, reddy color. There's, like, a lot of drama that goes on, because, like, the main plot of the series is to stop the SEA, and that is kind of, like, the main goal of it. Like, I have things for stories that happen, like, afterwards, like the aftermath area where I want to cover, but, like, for most of the series, the main goal is to try to stop the SEA, which is a very corrupt, very sick and twisted, run government body, and that means there's gonna be a lot of fucking bullshit. A lot of fucking traumatic shit happens. Like, I actually have characters who die, like, permanently die in this. This is kind of a common thing in the series. Like, a lot of minor characters, off-screen characters, a lot of the villains will die. Even, like, ones that become, like, more sympathetic and, like, they're kind of almost become allies, they fucking die. Very much a very death-filled series.
should go, but we keep trying to find a reason why we can't move on. I think we're scared to be alone. We had our times, but now I know that they are gone. Wonder how it feels to fall asleep and love the one that's next to me. I don't.
And I'll be working on like slowly writing this series over the next little bit. And then like once I get like pretty far into it, then I'll start like thinking about running campaigns and things like that to get like beta readers, to be able to get publishing funds, to be able to find ways to create the series. All my characters like have a lot of, as I've explained while doing this, but I'm actually gonna discuss a little bit about like these two and how like adorably sweet they become later on. Like when they first meet, it's very much bickering kind of relationship, where he's like, "I didn't need your help, broad," and she's like, "Bitch, I will fucking fight you." And then like it becomes to begrudging, like, "You're an asshole, you're an asshole, you're my asshole, yeah, you're my asshole too," that kind of thing. And then slowly over time, like, they begin to develop more, like, different feelings. Like, one of the big early turning points is, like, when Amy discovers, like, what happened to Seth's mother, and then discovers him cutting. It becomes, like, a big thing where she's just, like, he's not just, like, this kind of a-hole of a guy. Like, he has feelings, and it's not just, like, this grumpy dickhead. Because that's what a lot of Seth's early encounters are. It's just, he's very much like a fucking asshole. Mostly because, like, trauma-based things where he's like, people won't get close to me if I act like an asshole, so I'm gonna be an asshole. That kind of thing. This doesn't make it right, but it does, for Amy, it explains a lot. And she's like, oh, you're really not like that. You're just trying to keep people away because you don't want to get hurt. He also, like, slowly starts to see her. Like, at first he thinks she's just, like, this cocky moron that doesn't think far ahead, and, like, that's one of the first reasons he, like, helps her. He's like, oh my god, this broad's gonna get herself killed. Then over time, he just finds out, like, he's like, no, she can handle herself. Like, she is way tougher than I give her credit for. She's still a crazy fucking moron that shouldn't be doing what she's doing, but he kind of starts to actually believe that she could do it, that kind of deal. And, like, they become very sweet, like, later on in life. Like, kind of more in the after bits of it, like, these two are, like, sweet as can be. Like, you see, like, the two of them together, they're always kind of, like, at each other's side, and they're, like, the perfect team later on in life. Like, shit goes down, like, they team up, they got this shit. And, like, one of their traumas, actually, that they first share is that, because the SCA are fucking assholes, one of their experimentations is, like, to build weapons using, well, basically they're human test subjects. There is an early plot point that gets revealed where they discover one of the methods to do it, but another one is they basically genetically alter a child and use their DNA to do it. And, like, they eventually meet this child and they're like, oh my god, look at it, it's ours. Like, you can't deny that. And Amy, being the kind of fucking mother hen kind of character she can be, like, is very much like, I don't care, like, if I didn't carry this kid, this is my kid. And that's one of the first things they have to deal with is that child. being lost. And Amy just breaks down and is like, no, that was my baby. That was my baby. Like, you don't understand. And Seth's like, yeah, I know. To you, that was your baby, and I'm sorry, but I can't just like race after it. And she's like, no, you don't understand. I have to go get my baby. I have to. And that's like one of the early traumas that they kind of share, that they hold on to for a very long time. And like when they eventually do have kids, like later on in the series, like Amy is very protective of her kids. You don't fuck with this woman's kids. She's like, these are my babies, and if anyone hurts them in one way or another, they die. And that's all because of that one trauma. And she's just like, yeah, these are my babies, and I love them. Like, in a lot of ways, Amy is very unconventional, but, like, when it comes to kids, she is, like, one of her things that she tells Seth, like, early on in the relationship, like, when they start getting a bit more serious, is that she looks at him and she's like, I want to have kids. And he's like, what? And she's like, that's something I want later in life, is I want to be a mother. And she's like, you want to be a mom? And she's like, yes. Yes, I do. For a lot of years, like, Seth thought it was, like, make-believe. And then this child that happens, he's like, no, she's fucking serious. She wants to have a kid. That's why it's so interesting to write these characters, because, like, while I do use a lot of, like, stereotypical character things to, like, come up with some early stuff, they're very much their own characters. Like, Amy is very much the total, like, modern day feminist icon where she's just a fucking badass, but then she also is, like, she's like, I want to be a mom. And, like, she adores cute things. Like, one of the first times, like, Seth really kind of, besides the whole, her helping him with his self-harm, is, like, one day he sees her and she's just, like, gushing over, like, one of her favorite shows is a fucking magical girl show, and he's just watching it and he's like, you like this shit? And she's like, I adore this shit. And he's like, huh. That kind of, like, he starts to see another side to her. Like, she is the first one that sees, like, anything, and she's just like, oh my god, it's cute, I want it. And she's like, I did not think you were into this stuff. And she's just like, yeah, I am. Doesn't mean I'm not into punching fucking lights out. It's like, okay, yeah, you're still badass. Or, like, another one that I think, I was trying to think of it. Oh yeah. Is, like, Seth is very much the kind of fucking, he wants everyone to think he's a fucking badass kind of guy. Which in a lot of ways he is. But, like, one of the thing Amy learns early on with Seth is that actually he loves romance novels. Like, she goes into his room and, like, not, like, smut romance novels, like, actual legit romance novels. Like, novels about falling in love and that kind of stuff. And she's like, but you like this? And he's like, yeah. And she finds it absolutely adorable. Like, he is the romantic. He is very much the, like, later on in life, like, he's very much the boyfriend that would be like, I planned Valentine's Day, here's your gifts, here's the sweetest things I could think of, I got you candles, I got you roses. Like, that's kind of his character. Like, I think for the first Valentine's Day they spend together, like, he's preparing all this stuff and he's being super sweet. And then, like, right before, like, Valentine's Day, he sees her, like, talk to everyone and they're talking about Valentine's Day. It's just something like, yeah, I think it's a holiday constructed to sell shit. This is, like, instantly, like, what? And then he's, like, rethinking it, like, is she not gonna like this anymore? Like, I thought it was being sweet, but apparently she doesn't like this. But she likes it because, like, he put effort into it, that kind of thing, where she's just like, yeah, I don't really care about this fucking holiday. And he does, because he's the fucking little romantic that he is. glasses. He's sort of a cute little couple of dynamic. Really, I just need to get myself back into writing these characters. I took a break for a bit because I was like, number one, I don't want to do this webcomic, and number two, I think I just need a break to kind of relax and think, is this something I want to do? And I'm realizing, yes, it is. I just don't want to do it in the medium I kind of forced myself into, I think. Mostly because I wasn't sure about how to publish a book, but I thought, hey, I can do it as a comic, and that makes sense. And I realized the logistics of making a comic, and especially considering, like, I do not have the funds to, like, hire someone to do it for me, so now I'm just slowly realizing where I'm just like, yeah, no, this is definitely going to be a novel thing. This is not going to be a good thing to put in one comic format. Like, for me personally, this is not the way it should go. So I've taken a break, and now I'm kind of in the mood where I'm just like, alright, I want to start writing these characters again. I always consider myself to be a better writer than I am an artist. Like, here's the funny thing, like, I used to always be writing. Kind of one of my big things I've always done for years. Like, first time I started writing fanfiction, I was probably like 12. Published my first one back when I was like probably 13, 14. So, like, writing has always been more of a thing to me. Meanwhile, like, I only really started taking art seriously, really, in the last, like, maybe 5, 6 years. Like, after I left high school was when it kind of hit me that I wanted to try to do art more. And that's where I've seen most of my improvement in art. Has been, like, the last, like, few years. 3 or 4 years. Like, back in high school, I mostly did it because, number one, it was something to do to pass classes when I wasn't writing. And then, number two, it was just... My best friend is a tattoo artist, and she's also a webcomic artist. And back in high school, art was one of those things where me and her could bond over that. Because in a lot of ways, we actually have very different interests. Like, we started off with similar ones. She was into video games. I liked video games. She was into anime. I liked anime. We were into manga. We both liked manga. But we were, like, on almost entirely at different ends of the spectrum. Like, I've given her a few mangas. Like, we used to watch Death Note together and read Death Note together. Fullmetal Alchemist is another one. And then lately I've given her some Magical Girl Set Apocalypse. The Promised Neverland. Tried to get into School Life, she didn't really like that. Soul Eater, that was another big one. We were both into Soul Eater. Like, art was one of those things that I mostly did with her. Where it was just like, hey, we both like art. We're gonna do art together, and that became our thing. It was just being weird and doing art. And drawing. But I still like doing art. As you can probably tell by the amount of art I do. I just definitely don't love it as much as my friend. Like, there's nothing this girl would rather do than do art. Like, actually right now she's setting up a good streaming area so that she can stream her art and that stuff, and I'm like, that's great for you, that's great. I mostly do art because it gives me a good excuse to draw and stream. That kind of thing. Meanwhile, her, I'm like, yeah, you could make a lot of dosh. You're a very talented artist. Like, recently she did a drawing of, what's the artist's name? Billie Eilish. Yeah, Billie Eilish. She did a realistic portrait of Billie Eilish, and it was beautiful. If you want to check out her webcomic, it's called Yashiroreaper. And originally it was a Legend of Zelda fanfiction. I used to read it. Like, weekly. That used to be my thing. I'd read her Legend of Zelda fanfiction. I'm pretty sure it's still up too. I'm pretty sure. So if you ever really want to read it, it's probably still up on fanfiction.net. Her artist name is Azuki Shibuya. As far as, like, we've known each other since, like, 2nd, 3rd grade when she moved into my school. And, like, we basically became friends instantaneously because we're both the fucking weirdos. And, like, she's done all my tattoos so far. She did my twig one, which was my first one. She's done my grumpy cat one, which was on a sheet spread that she did. And then she did my giant non-binary Autobot insignia tattoo recently. Like, I go to her for any tattoo work, pretty much. Basically, I look at her and I'm like, you're my friend. And you're a tattoo artist, and I want to support you. So basically, I'm gonna just come to you for my tattoo art. Now she, like, opened up a Redbubble store, and I almost want to buy some from Rich off Redbubble and be like, I want it, girl. Gimme. I'll wear a t-shirt with one of your designs on it. Come on, holla. I think I've been trying to convince my elder sister. Not my eldest, but my elder sister. I'm trying to get her to get a tattoo. I'm like, come on, you want a tattoo? And she's like, nah. And I'm like, oh, come on, don't be a pansy. Come on. You want a tattoo from my friend, don't you? My sister's like, I don't think I want tattoos. I'm like, oh, lame. I got What do you guys do during Valentine's Day as someone who's never been in a relationship? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck actual couples do. Like, one of my coworkers, he's like, oh yeah, I got a date. And I'm like, for Valentine's Day? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, don't care. And also, I got a phone call from my mother, BRB. BRB. So now you must crawl on me. She's not paying attention. She's like, I'm standing on the human now. On my ribcage. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, at Meals on Wheels. And then I work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Meals on Wheels. And then I work at the Dollarama on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday I have to go to the first day. For Dollarama. Because I'm literally sent me a text message like 5 minutes before one of my shifts last week. It was like, yeah, so these are the days you're going to first aid. And I'm like, I went to my other job those days. And she's like, I booked it. I'm like, you could have told me you were booking me first aid and I would have told you when I was available. And like, I've already told her, like, on my availability, it says I'm not available Sunday. So I'm like, fuck, god damn it. No, Carrie said I was good just to not show up because there was a new girl hired that was getting trained that weekend. I was like, I'm so sorry, Carrie. And she's like, it's okay. And I'm like, I don't know why they're like this. She's like, it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to doing first day on fucking Sunday though, because that means I have to cab it. I'm on the north side. Out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, fuck my life. She told me she was trying to book me for first aid. Instead of just being like, I booked you for first aid, here are your days. Less than a week in advance. It's like 8 to like 4:30. Yeah, it's full days, just for 2 days. Yep. Good job, you're fine. We did. Hi, Biscuit. Hi, Biscuit. You want some yummy? Guess what? Guess what you desire? Hello, sorry about that. The mother calls, and I must answer when the mother calls. Yeah, I know what people do on first Valentine's Day. As I said, one of my coworkers is like doing it. I'm like, okay. Seems like an expensive time to try to get into a new relationship, but whatever. I don't know. I've never been on I've been on one date. One date, and the entire time I was regretting my life choices. I was like, why did I decide to go on a date? I hate every part of this. Me and the guy like talked a while, then we went on this date, and then we never talked again. That's how bad the date was. We just never spoke to each other again. It was just done. This was a dude, too. Back when I still thought I was into dudes. And now I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't have worked out. I don't like dudes. I'm sorry. This thing between you and me, it just wouldn't work. Sorry. I'm not into the D. Oh, so by the way, I'm gonna say something and I don't know exactly if people will be like, trans rights and that kind of thing. Sorry, but like, as someone who just has a lot of fucking drama when it comes to men, and like that's another reason where I was like, why didn't I realize this sooner? But like, I don't know if I can date someone who has a D. I don't care if you're percent female, I'm sorry. I don't think I can date you if you have a D. That's just a thing. I'm like, no, I totally believe you're women, but if you have a D, I'm sorry. Not what I'm into. At all. If anything, like, if I did get into a relationship with someone with that, like, sex just wouldn't be a thing. I'm sorry. Like, it's definitely not something I think I'd be ever into. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know. People freak out about this. I don't know. Some people of the internet seem to. Especially people are like, oh, you're a TERF. And I'm like, I'm really not a TERF. No, I believe you're entirely women. That's personal preference, maybe? Is the correct term? It's personal preference? I don't know. That's the best way I can think to say it. Like, my elder sister is trans. And, like, occasionally, like, when I've heard her in the past tense, I use, like, her male pronouns mostly. Cause for me, it just makes the storytelling easier. So I feel like stories where she was shot in the D by my nephew while playing Rayball. And that sounds weird. That adds a layer that I don't want to have to explain to randos. I say, oh yeah, my nephew shot my sister in the dick. Be like, what? That sounds weird. I don't know. As someone who's non-binary and just doesn't give a shit about gender shit, like, call me male, call me female, I don't give a shit. Just don't fucking call me, like, stupid sexist shit, then I won't fucking deck you. Like, I hate Missy. Fucking hate the word Missy. Well, you say there, little Missy. I'd punch you in the D. I don't care. That one word will get you punched. Oh, girly. Oh, girly. You call me girly, you better hope I don't punch you in the D. That's just a fact at this point. You say something derogatory, you're gonna get punched in the D. Or the C, I'm not entirely sure. Don't want to judge, but you're getting punched. And it's not gonna be pretty. Like, for my sister transition, like, I used to just call her Grosif. Grosif. Because one of our things is that, like, we used to switch into Russian accents as a joke. So it just became easy. I'm like, oh, Brosif, how you do? Now I call her Oni-chan. She's done, like, so, like, when she first joined us and I looked at her, I'm like, so, you don't want me calling you Brosif anymore? And she's like, no, and I'm like, alright. One-chan. And she's like, why'd you instantly jump to that? I'm like, I'm a weeb. And there's no female version of brosif, and we call sis, so you're getting bumped to Japanese, I'm sorry. This is gonna be the way it is. Like, I think a reason, like, my family has a bit of trouble with my sister and, like, pronouns and shit. And my sister's like, oh, they don't care about, like, one of the things I always say is, like, one of those things I don't really explain when I'm non-binary. People are like, oh, you want me to use they, them pronouns? I just look at them, I'm like, I don't honestly care. I mean, it's nice when people use they, them pronouns. It's kind of nice, but at the same time, I understand I look female. I mostly present female. I understand people are going to use those pronouns a lot. So I'm not going to get butt achy over someone using female pronouns. Same way I'm not going to get butt achy if someone says male pronouns. I just don't honestly care that much. I don't have to be offended by that. I don't know. I understand, like, some non-binary people get offended when people don't use they, them pronouns and, like, want to be referred to they, them pronouns. Great, all for you. I understand. When people, my best friend refers to me with they, them pronouns, and I fucking love it. Like, every time she says it, she's like, yeah, this is my friend, they are, Yashiro. And I'm like, yes! But at the same time, I understand, like, 98% of the people in the world will not be able to think of that or do that, so I just don't bother correcting people. There are many more things to be offended about than being called a she, in my mind. Sorry to any trans people who would very much get offended by that. I'm sorry, I just don't get offended by it at all. Same reason, like, I know some trans people don't like being called dude. I'm like, alright, you don't want to be called dude, I shall call you dudette. The very non-much used female version of dude. Like, I use guys a lot, like, I'm like, hey guys. It could be a group of girls. I'm like, hey guys. Some people think that's... Some people that are non-binary or trans don't like that. I'm just like, I'm sorry. That's, to me, that's a gender-neutral term. I'm sorry. To me, it is. In my brain, it goes, guys can mean a group of men, group of women, group of mixed. It's gender-neutral. In my brain. So, by the way, these two are looking so cute. Look at them. They look adorable. Alright, next part, the pillows. Any other, like, weird things that you consider gender neutral that some people don't? I consider a lot of things gender neutral. I don't know why. Like, a lot of times at work, especially if I see people that I'm not entirely sure which, like, pronouns they use, I just give up. I just don't ever use a situation where I have to use pronouns. I am bad for that. Like, where I'm just like, I'm not entirely sure if you'd get offended if I call you ma'am or if I call you sir. So I'm just gonna not call you either and just avoid using terms that are gendered. Like, here's a... I don't know if it's weird. Maybe it's just, like, a thing I've developed being a small town girl. But, like, when I see kids, first instinct, hey, sweetie, sweetheart, sweetie. That's what I go with instantly. Like, at work, whenever I see kids or, like, any squeeze by, I'm like, hey, sweetie, can you please move out of the way? I don't know if people find that weird. Is that weird? Is that a weird thing to say? In my brain, that's like instant, like, little kid, sweetie, sweetheart, sweetie. Or hun. Hun is used a lot. For the wee ones. I don't know if that's a weird thing. Because to me, it sounds very normal. Be like, oh, hey, sweetie. I don't know. I shall find out if it's weird when I start to... I'm applying currently. I'm gonna look for it tomorrow. I forgot to look for it today, but I'm looking for my high school diploma because I'm trying to apply to college. But for some reason, they want like a picture of my like thing or like an email version of my transcript. So I'm like, trying to find my diploma currently. I'm like, where the fuck is my diploma? I can't even remember like where it was. Like, where did the fuck did I put it? I know I remember one of the spots it was in, but, like, it's not there, so I'm like, I don't honestly remember where it is from there.
Continue.
Yeah.
Bro, this is fire.
Yeah, that's a bit better. Now for the not so fun part, aka shading. The thing I hate to do, but makes art look better, so I eventually force myself to do it. Alright, let's go. Let's go, let's do some shading. I might not even to get into ship art tonight. Am I kidding? I got nothing fucking to do tomorrow besides go to the liquor store to buy Guinness to make Guinness stew. I'm gonna fucking do this. Let's go. By the way, yes, that is like a day off goal of mine, was to make Guinness stew. And I was gonna do it yesterday. I mean today. But, yeah, I realized at the grocery store that I usually would buy my Guinness at. It doesn't sell Guinness. And the liquor store is not open on, like, a Sunday. So I was like, fuck. Well, I guess that throws off my plan.
People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way.
Alright, back to shading.
Life is happy, but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah.
I don't know if this music's gonna get copyright claim when I go back onto YouTube. Post this on YouTube, but I don't fucking care at this moment in time.
The light is gonna come. The birds have just begun.
They're excited though right now.
We will always take a stand.
Not often I actually remember to do holiday art.
Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the lane. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah,
I was watching, I was on TikTok the other day. And the other day, I mean like a few weeks ago. But like, it was like this meme format kind of one. It was like the rest of the world being obsessed with sea shanties, Atlantic Canadians being like, no? Because if you don't know, Atlantic Canadians, we like sea shanties. Like, those never really died in the Maritimes. Like, they're very much local folk music kind of things. Like, there's like a local Maritimer, like not, I don't want to say local, so like a Maritimer artist called Stan Rogers, and he did like a lot of kind of sea shanty kind of things, like Mary Ellen Carter settle low, or like rolling down to Maui. Like rolling down to Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to old Maui. Or like, God, there's like tons of other songs. But like sea shanties are not that big of a deal, and then like people started like singing like stuff like, what's it called? The Wellerman song. Like, the Wellerman come down with booze, rum and tea, sugar, rum and tea. I can't remember off the top of my head. I just remember being like, yeah, this is kind of generic kind of stuff that the Maritimes has. Because if you don't know, like there's a lot of pirate stuff around here. Which you wouldn't think, considering like we're nowhere close to like the southern hemisphere kind of thing, we're up in Canada kind of deal, but like there's a surprising amount of pirates here. Like, there's one island that's technically part of my home province, that Captain Kidd was said to have buried his treasure. It's called Oak Island. And like there's a thing called the Curse of Oak Island, which basically means people have been trying to find buried treasure on that island for years, but every time they do, they set off a booby trap. Like, I'm pretty sure it's killed people. Not entirely sure. I know like people have lost money and equipment over it, but like people have mostly given up on trying to find that treasure. Because they've realized that it was like basically buried and like made sure that like I don't think even they would be able to come get it. Like they set off so many fucking booby traps in that area to like keep people from getting at the money. I'm pretty sure they're like, this money shall stay dead. No one shall use this money. Like legit booby traps. Or that being a thing like we were taught in school when I was younger, and I was like, what the fuck? You tell me pirates are like, fucking no one's getting our gold. And it's basically been like sand pits and things like that to like keep people out. And dude's just like, yeah, basically. Yeah. And like, I think it was suspected to be Captain Kidd's treasure, that kind of deal. Like, no one's going down there because, well, fucking traps. And fair enough. I think it's like completely privately owned now too. Which means some rich guy is probably sitting there like, soon, one day, I shall own all this pirate treasure. Either that, or they're just like, okay, stop like trying to bury out this treasure. It's clear no one's supposed to get it. Like, I think I got, what was it? Now that I'm getting home late a lot because of my work, my second job, like, I get really bored on the walk home, so I just start singing a lot. Like, the other day, if you guys don't know, I do a pretty good, like, star-screamy, like, evil character kind of voice. And I was using that, singing like, it's so easy when you're evil. This is the light you see. The devil chips his out to me. I do it all because I'm evil. And I do it all for free. Your tears are all the company I need. Or like, cut the cord. Like that kind of shit. Just screaming out in that voice. And one day I think people actually waited until I passed by to go through walking into the like graveyard area, and like my mom is so convinced I'm gonna get shanked in there. I'm like, Mom, I don't think you understand. Your daughter is this 5'8" lady walking through a graveyard singing in a gravelly deep voice metal songs. No one's fucking with me. Even a crazy person's like, that person's crazy too, I ain't fucking with her. I've learned if you act weird enough, most people stay away, and I've used that for the rest of my life. Like come on, I don't want to be assaulted by some weird fucking guy. You know what, I'm just gonna act so crazy that this guy's like, fuck that, bro, no, hell no. And that's my goal in life. Like, you'd be surprised how often you can just weird people out of not bothering you. It works. But like, yeah. I've legit been like, wearing like winter coats, walking down this fucking graveyard, singing, cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort, suffocation, no breathing, don't give a fuck if I keep my heart bleeding. Like that shit. It's not screaming it because I'm outside. I remember one day I was walking through, I'm addicted to the feeling, getting higher than the ceiling, and I'm never gonna walk this fucking demon again. Just like that shit. I sing, and I sing loud, and I sing proud, and people stay the fuck away from me, and it's brilliant. For any woman out there who's scared of getting jumped, just act so crazy that people just stay the fuck away from you. Just make yourself into the fucking creep that everyone's like, alright, we're gonna not deal with that person. And I'm like, yes, it works. It fucking works. You know how many people I've weirded out of like dealing with my shit? You know how easy it is? To make people look at me and be like, nah, not today. Not today, Satan. I mean, really. I've got so many people where they're just like, fuck it.
Tell you what I need, well, I don't need money. I don't have much. Just sitting down a dark road, sitting in the rain and cold. Oh, but love, I need just one thing. There's a little bit of sunshine. I need a sunshine. It's a rainy day, I know. I need to get
But yeah, that's like one of the weird things I do. Or like, honey, what you waiting for? Welcome to my candy store. Time for you to prove you're not a lame mess anymore. And step into my candy store. Guys, follow, act your feet, pay the check, help you cheat. All you have to do is say goodbye to Shamu. That freak's not your friend, I can tell in the end. If she had your shot, she would leave you to rot. That's my Starscream voice that I use a lot. Like, one of the first things I want to do when I get a car again is like grab my friend and be like, alright, we're going through the drive-thru. It's late at night. It is dead. There is fucking nothing going on at this store. We're going through a drive-thru and I'm going to do this voice and you're just gonna sit here and watch. Like, I'm gonna be very polite. Like, it's not gonna be like fucking with them. Like, hello, do you have any McNuggets? And I'm in like a Wendy's drive-thru. I ain't gonna be that dick. I'm just gonna use that voice and order my entire meal and then come up to the front and be like, oh, thank you very much. Have yourself a lovely evening, and drive away. That is my goal in life, okay? I'm going to be very polite while doing this. I just want to do a funny voice because I think that would make someone shift at a shitty job. Be like, did you just hear that lady? She just came through the drive-thru. She sounded like fucking Skeletor. It was great. And I think that's fabulous, okay? I like some person be like, wait. That voice and that body? What? What? I remember my coworkers, I do a lot of voices at my job where I'm in a kitchen, because, well, we're in a kitchen. And, like, my sense of human decency gets thrown out the window 98% of the time in the kitchen. It's like, we'll be in the middle of shit, I'm like, oh, god damn it. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, fucking thing fell. God damn it. Like, when I work at my, like, job where I'm technically a management position, like, I put on my customer service voice, and I sound like this, and then, like, I originally relax into this, and then occasionally I go, God, what Scheiße! Which is my main curse word when I'm not supposed to be in an environment when I want to curse. Basically, I swear in another language and hope to God no one understands German. And to be fair, a lot of people don't. So a lot of people leave me the fuck alone and don't question why I just shouted Scheiße. Okay? It works. I've done that a lot where I'm in like an environment where people don't want me cursing. So I just curse in a language they don't understand. So I've learned, mostly, I usually use Scheiße. But I've also used Zont. And I've also used just Cybertronian curse words. If you don't know, I'm a big Transformers fan. And, like, I've been in a class where, like, I've been told not to swear, and I said, frag! Or scrap! Or Primus! Because I was in one course. That was a West course I took forever ago, but the teacher didn't want us to say, oh my god, or damn. which I was like, those aren't curse words, but fucking whatever. So I just went Primus one day. She just looked at me and I'm like, I didn't curse. She's like, I don't even want to know what that is. And I'm like, yeah, you don't. I thought about saying, oh, flying spaghetti monster, but number one, that's really long to say. Number two, I have a feeling she'd get the reference and be like, okay, that's a bit too obvious. So I was like, fuck it. Don't let me say God, then I'm gonna say fucking Primus. Same shit. I do use scrap a lot, actually. When like something mildly inconveniences me, I'm like, scrap. Then I use shiza, then I use normal curse words a lot of the time, because my mom's like, when did you curse this much? I'm like, I've always cursed this much. It's just a matter of whether I use these curses when I talk to you or not. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've been cursing this way since high school. I actually got in trouble a lot in high school because my teachers would be like, Sarah! And I'd be looking at them, fucking what? Language! Fuck you! That's a little fucking shit disturber. Even though like 98% of my teachers thought I was like the good kid. In a lot of ways I was. All my teachers knew that I had the fucking worst fucking potty mouth. Like I said fuck a lot. Like it pisses people off when people used to piss me off, I'd say fucking slut. Or fucking bitch! I swore so much that like my band teacher in high school just looked at me. He's like, why do you swear all the time? And I'm like, cause I can. Cause my dad's a fisherman. Cause fuck you. Cause why the fuck do you care? It's fucking words. I would never understand people that don't like are very much against adults swearing. I can understand kids. Okay? I kinda understand that. But at the same time, when someone who is a full ass grown adult tells another full ass grown adult that they can't swear, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Get over it. It's fucking words. My sister says that to me a couple times, and like, mostly because I swear in front of my nephew, and I just look at her, I'm like, he's been on the fucking internet! You think he hasn't heard these words before? Boy, who's your favorite YouTuber? Markiplier? Markiplier says fuck. Trust me, he does. Markiplier has said bitch. My nephew knows what these words are, okay? No, don't tell me I can't curse in front of him and then he watches YouTubers that fucking curse all the time. Like, I remember one day I literally sat my sister down and I looked at her and I said, alright, as someone who probably doesn't know what YouTube is, do you know what Parker watches? This, this, and this. As soon as she said PewDiePie, I'm like, oh god, he knows a lot of words. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that guy swears a lot. He plays horse video games, he says curses a lot. It's the Swedish curse words. Alright. Weather, Markiplier. Yep. Game Grubs, ooh, yeah, he knows a lot of curse words. He also knows a lot of inappropriate things. Okay. Just looking at my nephew like, you know what this is? And he's like, yep. I'm like, good. Figured. How'd you know? I just had to hear what YouTubers you watch. And then I knew. I knew right then and there that you knew what these words were. And that there was no need to censor myself around you. Because you've already heard these words. Like, why in God's name would I censor myself around a boy who watches YouTubers? Like, I'm sorry, that's not happening. He knows. He knows. It's just like, oh, come on. I'm like, he fucking knows what swearing is. I just look at my brother-in-law and I'm like, he fucking knows what swearing is. Like, yeah, he does. And now my nephew, or like, since COVID started, his father started a handyman business. I'm like, he's been helping his dad. I'm like, yeah, you've learned some new swear words, haven't you? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, yeah, I figured. Because your dad curses a lot, too. I don't get the hubbub around bad language. It's not really that bad language. Like, the N-word, yes, that's a bad word. But, like, no one says the F-word. I mean, they kind of do, but, like, it's stupid. Like, There have definitely been times where I've looked at people when they told me not to swear, and I'm like, you don't understand. It would be different if I yelled across, like, the high school gym and went, "Cunt! That! She might get me some looks! And it's probably something you shouldn't say, but it's not me yelling, fuck! Across the gymnasiums to not get the same looks. Just saying." I still remember all the teachers that used to look at me for swearing, and I just looked at them back like, "I don't swear during your class, do I?" "Well, no. Then fuck off." It's called recess. Like, one teacher, like, my band teacher used to get me when I'm at my table talking with my friends, and I just, like, turned to him like, "Dude, I don't care. I'm at the table. What are you gonna do? Send me to the fucking principal?" Number one, my best friend's mother is the secretary. And number two, you really think a redneck high school where they know my dad is going to fucking cut me out for cursing? Not at all! My elementary tried to get me out for fucking punching a kid in the face, and then they looked at my dad, and he said, "I told her to do it." And then they had no more arguments to whether I punched a kid in the face or not, okay? Someone doesn't know my dad's a fucking dick waffle, but he let me get away with a lot of shit. And one of them was punching my bully in the face, because the school would do nothing when I told them about the bullying, so one day my dad just looked at me and said, "Punch him in the dick." And I did. Like, my bully's doing good out there. His name was, I can't remember. I'm not gonna say his name, because I just referred to him as my bully, but he got better. He had a lot of mental health issues, a lot of family issues. Like, doesn't excuse a lot of the shit he did, but it makes it understandable. And, like, I wish him well. I really do, but, like, when he tried to become friends with me in high school, I just looked at him like, "I wish you well. I wish you great things. I'm never going to be your friend. That is just not gonna happen. Like, there's too much under this bridge, okay?" "Hello, baby girl. This is my cat, Kitty. She's a precious calico, and she has missed her mother so much that she has become the biggest sook. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? You're knocking shit off last night as I'm trying to sleep. I wake up at 5 in the morning because you're knocking shit over trying to get my attention. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Isn't that right? I think it is. It's all right. You were just so lonely and so sad that you had to wake up your mothers by knocking shit onto the floor and being a brat. Isn't that right? I think that's right. I live alone in a small bachelor apartment with a cat. This is most of the contact I get every day besides at work. Is this tiny little cat who's also a tiny little asshole. I mean, she's my tiny little asshole and I love her to bits, but oh my god, if you knock over my shit while I'm trying to sleep, I shall end you. Stay one. I will give you snuggles like 10 minutes later. I'm just gonna be very cranky when I wake up. Alright, down you go. Oh, weird shit. Let's get back on the Valentine's Day shit. Right before COVID hit was actually the time where I was about to ask my friend where I should go to try to, like, find what places where I should go to try to, like, find a relationship. And then COVID hit, and I was like, really? Really? The time I finally find myself mentally stable enough to enter a relationship? Fucking pandemic hits! It's fucking bullshit! Like, my best friend, actually, during the pandemic, she got engaged. Which I'm very happy for her. Very nice. At the same time, I just looked at her, I'm like, I've been on one singular date and you're engaged. A little part of her, she'd probably be like, yeah, and? Like, not your thing. I'm like, it is technically my thing. It's just not good luck in my life, to be quite honest. Like 98% of the reason why I've been sick a lot of the time is because number one, it just wasn't in the right place mentally. And number two, just like, it wasn't that important to me when I was in like my early, like 18, 19. I was busy with the university. And I had a lot of personal shit. A lot of friends stabbed me in the fucking back. So I just mostly gave up on relationships for a while. And then my own trauma came back. And yeah, the relationships weren't that big of a thing. Like, I actually went on my date, like, not long after my shit went up. And then I just realized I'm not, number one, emotionally ready. And number two, I am definitely gay. Like, I'm definitely not into dudes. I'm sorry, I feel bad. This is not, no, I'm not interested. Try to do one fan art piece before I leave. I don't know. We'll see. Took me 2 hours, but I did one piece. But I spent a lot of it working on other shit, so whatever. It's probably like an hour and 20-minute drawing that I've spent way too long on, but whatever. Whatever. I did what I came here for. Now we're gonna work on something else, hopefully. Because I feel like I should get other shit done today. My body's like, come on, you can do more fan art than that. And I'm like, okay. Alright. Alright. Let's see what I can do. I gotta finish stuff. I need to go to... Oh, this features my OC.
If the kingdom's overthrown, meet me at the cornerstone. I know that I can't be without you. This bond is solid gold.
Well, in here, I want to do. We're gonna go to references again. Open up some references.
Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest days. The summer's calling.
We're at these cat drunk pictures that I had that I thought it would be funny to draw. what do I want to do with it? Slowly scrolling through, just looking at all this shit.
As we wait for the smoke to clear and we watch our dreams appear, I know that we can rise together. This vision that we share is ours. Together we can touch the stars. I know that we will see December. 'Cause when it's all over,
I did that with Aizawa and Hisashi.
we'll be there to guide
That was cute.
you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest days.
Yeah, my Legolas and Gimli thing from when I tried to make myself a dwarf. D&D character and just slowly giving up every time I tried. I forgot how many of these I had. Like professional ship cosplaying pieces that I thought were perfect. I just never did anything TikToks. But I thought they were cute. That's the last Star Screen panel will be fun to draw, but that's for another time. I don't know why this is drawing me right now. I'm not even drawing these characters. Alright, we're doing this. I don't know who I'm drawing with this, to be quite honest. All I know is that this pose is getting me. So we're jumping into this. Oh yeah, and this is... and a cat. Good job. This photo is beautiful. I want the pose. I'm here for the pose and nothing else. Not even gonna draw these characters. God damn it. Oh yeah, I know. This is shitty. These properties. I need to turn up the resolution to about 500. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect! There. How does this fit? Alright, let's pull out a reference. I'm wondering, yes, I've sunk back into one of my early ships. I think, like, when I first started in the Transformers fandom, I had 3 ships. I had Ratchet and Optimus Prime, obviously, because I got back into it through Prime, and they were so gay. And then it was Jazz and Prowl, and Starscream and Skyfire from G1. Specifically G1! Because there weren't any of the other series that I was really into at the time where I vehemently shipped them. Oh, Jazz and Prowl was animated, but it was slightly different, the dynamic. I liked the Oreo boys. This was a thing. Here I am drawing on my old OTPs. That's a pretty good one. Reference? I think it is. Let's pull it up. And then I gave them both chip plates. Also, like, my Prowl like this makes them look so super interesting. Oh yeah, I gave Prowl, like, Prowl head. Right, we're on tabs. Playing tabs again, where I'm just like, what tab was it on? Stop doing that. Stop it! Why do I keep doing this? On that tab. Yeah, I just got the helm. Right up here. About here, and he's got this. That thing gone. Ral has the Praxian kind of thing from Transformers at the end of the Prime. Yeah, I like kept Jazz looking more kind of boxy. next layer. AKA I'm going to improve this massive mess of line art that I have done. What have I done? What have I done? It all turned out so wrong. As I hold my pen. Can I unplug it now? Recharged a bit more now. There. You're looking better. Oh my god. Just changed my seating position a bit. Because my arse is sore. There. A bit better. That's a bit better. Alright. Back to drawing. That's where my life is now. Start using some straight liners because that'll make this drawing a lot more. Music 5. It's down to about 5. Yep. you don't know about, like, I mentioned before that I write fanfiction. One of my main fanfictions that I've been writing for years now, TFP Youngling. My main OC, her parents are Jazz and Prowl. And, like, one of the things I kind of miss, because I killed them off because I'm an angst writer, is, like, I kind of miss being able to write them as, like, the adorable characters that I made them out to be. Like, in, like, flashbacks every once in a while, I'll, like, touch upon, like, how these two met, how they fell in love, like, that kind of stuff. And, like, every time I'm always, like, slightly disappointed that I have to be done with them and be like, oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that I killed them off, so I can't really, there isn't a lot I can really write about them at one time. Like, there's definitely more I want to write about them, but, like, I killed them off, so there is only, like, certain times where I can really bring them up, and especially, like, bring up what they were like before their deaths. Like, the next chapter I'm writing actually is about, like, has, like, more of them flashbacky moments. I'm very excited. Better. My, like, I don't know. These two are just a cute idea. Like, in my fanfiction, like, the two of them met when they were fairly young. Like, in my AU kind of thing with the fanfiction, is that, like, Cybertron before the war, it wasn't, like, a great place, to be quite honest. It was kind of a terrible place, to be fully honest. And, like, Jazz and Prowl met when Jazz was, like, a slave. And he was, like, in a facility where they were, like, basically, like, waiting to be sold off. And Prowl, whose, like, creators were, like, the rulers of Praxis, had brought him along just to show him, like, this is why you never agree to what they say in the cities, because this is what they do to people. Like, this is part of their culture, is to have mechs stuck in cages and sell them off to people who can do whatever the fuck they want to them. And, like, Prowl's already like, yeah, I don't appreciate this. But then he, like, meets Jazz, who is his age, and aka that means, like, he's a kid, like, and he's in a cage, trapped up, and, like, that really gets to Prowl, where he's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is someone my age. I'm a youngling. Like, I'm young. Here's someone my age, in a cage, waiting to be sold, and, like, that really bugs him, and he's like, I can't walk away. Like, I can't. Like, so he's like, don't worry, Prowl, Jazz, I'm going to get my sire to buy you, and I'll bring you to Praxis, and in Praxis you'll be free. And Jazz is like, I don't understand, like, sir. Like, very much using the trained responses he's been trained to use. And Prowl's like, no, I'm saving you. Like, you don't have to call me that. Don't call me sir. And, like, that's, like, how they first met. And of course, true to his word, Prowl does get his sire to buy him. And they bring Jazz back to Praxis. And, like, for the first little while, he stays with them. Eventually, they get, like, not really not really a foster family. It's more like a place for him to stay. He never gets like taken in by a family. So he's always been like very close to Prowl. He's like, this is my friend. And eventually, like when they're both still fairly young, they get bonded because they're just like that attached to each other after what happened. And the two of them are very much like in love. Like they love each other. Very much. Like in the beginning of the war, like Praxis tries to stay neutral. They're like, yeah, like one of your former slaves is rising up against you. Like we're not getting involved in this shit. Not until the Decepticons like basically destroy Praxis. Like it starts off with Prowl's parents are assassinated, and then like not long after that, like when Prowl's still like adjusting to having to lead. Since his parents are gone, the next thing, like, he's also like trying to raise his brother who doesn't have their creators around anymore. So Jazz is like, don't worry, we'll take him in. Like, don't worry, he's not gonna go to home. Like, he can stay with us. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, thank you, my bond mate. Like, thank you for being like this. And like, we'll take care of him. Like, Prowl's still dealing with all that stuff, and then Praxis is attacked and burned to the ground. The entire city leveled. After that, Prowl's like, I can't sit back. Like, I have to do something. So he and Jazz both join the war efforts. Prowl becomes like I guess called a battle computer, but I'm also on the leaning side of that it's more closely related to like almost a logic processor that he has, and like he jumps into being like a strategist. And Jazz, who has the special ability of being able to very easily mimic bots, jumps into being a spy. Because, like, this is basically Prowl's like, this is your best option. Like, this is where you'll be the best. Given your frame, given what you can do, this will be where you will shine and where you will be safest. First they raise Bluestreak up, and then Bluestreak eventually becomes old enough to fight in the war, and then after that, they eventually adopt Sunstreaker and Sideswipe, aka the Lambo twins. They take them in and raise them. And then, right before the Exodus, Jazz gives birth to Stargazer, they both die in very quick succession one another. And Stargazer is taken in by Ratchet and Optimus. I do have a 1AU where they do like survive the prologue basically. Prologue is where I murder them both. Here's a version where they do survive that. I'm lazy, I'm not gonna add the knuckle thing. I like how I'm using a cosplay image of one of my other fandom OTPs to draw one of my other ones. I've done well today. I've done well today, folks. think I'm doing well today. So I know this is a bit of a longer stream for art, but I'm determined to finish this piece as well. So bear with me. Bear with me as I power through a drawing. Because I'm determined to... No. Yeah, the optic color needs to be lighter. See this? Yeah, that's about better. Still a nice vibrant blue, but not as piercing as that one had been. And also, like, one of the reasons I had the Jazz wears the visor is because Prowl gave it to him when they were younger. As like a... Because Jazz's optics are gold, which is a very not so good thing back on Cybertron back in the day. It was considered like you're a minor class, you're low class, you are most likely could or would be a slave. It's not a good thing to be. And because of that, like, they're judged very harshly, especially for gold. So, to make sure that Jazz just doesn't get judged constantly, he gives them a visor, which Jazz wears pretty much all the time. He only really takes it off in front of a few select people, even during the war. And like, as the war is breaking out, he gets like upgraded to have scanners involved in it and things like that, and it just becomes something very important. And in the fanfiction, when he dies, it's one of the things, the only thing he leaves Stargazer with when he saves her and like puts her in a stasis pod and sends her away is he puts his visor on her. Like in the main storyline, like when Prowl dies, Jazz is very, very hurt. And like he's doing not well at all. Like barely fueling. The only reason he's any sort of okay is because he has their daughter. And he's like, okay, I have to. This is my daughter. This is our daughter. I need to be here for her. And even if life sucks right now, even though I don't really want to be here, I have our daughter, and I need to make sure she's okay. And like, he is so down the dumps, like he doesn't even name her. He's like constantly debating names, and then just gives up because he's like, I plan to name her with you. Like now you're gone. That in reference to Prowl, is like, I can't think of a name you'd like. Like, every time I think of a name, I think you'd hate it. And I don't want to name our daughter something you wouldn't have liked. That, like, really bugs him. And, like, it's one of the reasons why, like, Stargazer gets named. She's named by Ratchet. Because he's a small little femme. Names her after a hospital he used to work at, where he had actually met Jazz when he was younger. And when he figures out that, like, her creators... they are, he's kind of like, you know what, this name is actually pretty fitting for you. It's something that meant a lot to your carrier when he was alive, and I don't doubt for an instant being named after a place that had basically meant that your carrier was raised okay before he was thrown into the caste system. I don't think that's something your sire could hate. Like in an area where she lives, like, he looks, when she reveals her name, Prowl's like, I don't remember Jess saying that name. Like, I don't remember that. And she's like, he didn't name me. And he's like, what? And he's like, Ratchet named me. And then Ratchet later on, like, explains to him. He's like, so where'd you come up with the name? And Ratchet says it was the hospital where I used to look after Jazz when he was little. And Prowl's like, that would mean a lot to him. And, like, looks to Ratchet like, thank you. Like, that means a lot to give her that name. kitty sleeping? Yes, she is. I can hear her snores. And yes, I can hear kitty snores through my headphones. That's how in tune I am to my cat at this point in my life. During quarantine, it was just me and my cat. Not really much outside interactions. So it's just me and a cat. Those are our lives. It's still our lives. Like, I don't think since the last time my mother visited, my cat has seen any other human beings besides, like, people she sees in the window. She has no contact with the outside world, and I feel a little bit sad, because my cat is very sociable. She loves people. Like, when people come in, she's like, meow, 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 rubbing herself on them. Like, she loves people. And I choose to live alone, because fuck roommates. Especially, like, if you're like a roommate and you're looking for a place to live and like you have like if you're gonna look for a place with pet like in this city, they're probably also gonna have a pet. And my cat does not get along with other animals. She has to be the queen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. She is queen. I don't want to make her have to like live in a certain area because there's other animals that she'll get into fights with. I want to do my best by my cat because I love her. She is my little baby and I love her very much, which I keep meaning to get her a vet appointment, but I keep forgetting. There's only really one vet I can really take her to at this time, and I'm just bad. I'm just bad at this shit. I'm bad at making my own doctor's appointment, so making an appointment for my cat is like 10 times harder. And everyone, what if they say something's really wrong with her? I don't want to know that. Cat is a sweetheart though. I love her to bits. I love my kitty. She is the best. I love my kitty.
Are you scared?
Like I'm talking about how much I love my cat when covering two necks and making up.
I am you.
I'm just about to make out anyways. I haven't really actually written much for the AU where they live because mostly because I thrive off angst and also have like 7 different AUs for this franchise, so franchise fix. So like, yeah, the one where the parents live is somehow the least interesting one. But like from what I do have on, it's like these two are very, very. Let's say they get very pent up at the beginning, because when they finally meet up again, like it's the two of them, and then there's also Star, who is very excited to have her carry her back and is like very clingy, and then Prowl's busy, and yeah, it ends up with them kind of blue balling each other for a while, like being like, I really, really need this, but we do not have time. And they're always just like one, like about to do something, and then something comes up, and they're like, really? Really? We're just about to get down and dirty, and instantly you guys have an issue. It's like gonna be one of the storylines is them like trying to be intimate and then like everything just seems like getting in their way and they're just like really. These two definitely had a healthy sex life. Like when after everything happens, like it takes a while, but like Jazz eventually opens up to Prowl. I was like, yeah, like after what happened, like on the ship, like we're never creating again. Like I'm sorry, like I can't anymore, and that's kind of like a big thing. Where Jazz like kind of keeps it hidden for a while because he feels bad. He's like, I loved being a creator. He loved our daughter. Like, That was like the biggest thing ever in our lives, was when I finally became pregnant, that kind of thing. And then he's like, but now, like, I can't, never again, like, I can't physically anymore. And I like really rallied Jazz for a while, where he's just like, yeah, like, I'm so glad to be back with you, I'm so glad I missed you, but that's like a thing they talked about where Jazz admits to him, like, I took a lot of damage, like, I barely survived, like, I spent a lot of the time we were separated healing. Because they're like separated for equivalent, like for Cybertron is like equivalent to like 7 years apart. And it's like, yeah, I spent like most of those years in recovery beds, like trying to survive after what happened. And like that like really bothers Jazz for a while, because like that had been something they thought about before the war, then they had their daughter, and then they both got to miss out on like pretty much their entire sparkling hood. And then realizing that like, yeah, this is never going to be a thing. Like, we are not going to have another sparkling. This is never going to happen again. We missed it the first time, and now we don't get a chance to try again. And that really bothers Jazz. And of course, Riley's just like, I love you, and like, I'm just grateful you're alive. Like, I'm grateful both of us are alive. I'm grateful that we get to be here with our daughter at all. Like, sure, we missed a bit, but like, we're together again now, and that's what matters. And like, I don't care that we can't have another one. It's okay. Like, we're together, and that's really what matters. And I think, yeah, like, I've raised many other creations with you. Like, you've raised my brother. We raised twins we adopted. We've done well. We don't need to. Like, that doesn't need to be a part of us anymore. Like, it's alright. I think that's really sweet. No, so I live for the angst. I don't like later on when Stargazer gets older, she gets bonded, she has a creation. Like, she's carrying, and like, Jazz is just like so emotional. When our Sparkling's finally born, and then like, Star's like very eager to let her carry her in. He's just there like with a Sparkling, like, oh my god, like, it looks exactly like you did, like, oh my god. I just say they're very involved in their grand creation's life. These two would be the ones that would be like, if you ever need a babysitter, I mean ever, you call us. We got this. Like, you don't understand. We will be here. I can hear your snores, kitty. He has a very like prominent snore that I recognize immediately. Yeah, as soon as I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Kitty snores. I kind of want to shove my mic close to her and be like, hey, here guys, listen to Kitty snores. But I have a feeling as soon as I get this close to her, she'd wake up. Sleeping in my bed though. Like 98% of the time she's sleeping, she sleeps on my bed. She likes to sleep with me at night. She likes cuddles. When I was gone for a lot, she would just like, as soon as I get home and I'd sit down a certain way, she'd just like pretty much like wrap herself around one of my legs and like hold on bigger tightly, like, human, you're not allowed to leave ever again. You left me alone and I'm super sad. Super sad. Say when it comes to coloring them, this is the easy part. Just black and white. Jess has a bit of color, but that's about it. Black and white. It's pretty easy.
Sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's
I like how even my happy AU involves like them being separated from each other for a long period of time. Like I thought about another reason, which would be like Jazz is able to barely escape and put them both into stasis, and like they both get away. And they're discovered like crashed. Like Jazz is hurt, obviously, but like just in suspended animation with his creation, like snuggling her. Like that's another idea I've had, but like a little part of my brain's like, no, we live for the angst. But I also think it'd be kind of interesting for T Prime to be like we found a youngling, like call Ratchet down, and Ratchet's like, oh, we're here, and then it's like just sees in his looks at like this mech that's like barely alive, clinging to life, and then this small little creation in his arms, and he's been like, oh my god, this is Jazz, this is what the fuck, this is Jazz, and everyone else being like, wait, oh my god, that's Commander Jazz. Yeah, Jazz was eventually he got the rank of commander. He was in charge of special ops, spies, all that kind of stuff, intel. That was Jazz's territory. It also meant he was kind of the liaison for the wreckers. Because the wreckers, no one controls the wreckers. The wreckers do whatever the fuck they want. People are like, oh, why don't you use like a... Oh, God. I wish I knew a faster way to do like the coloring I want to do without like doing this bullshit. Because certainly there is a way to do this without me just doing this for like cycles, but like I don't know it. So for now, this is how I color. I spent forever doing this. It's probably an easier way. And I just don't know it. I know there's a way to like select and then color from there, but I don't like that method. Because that just adds another step of what I'm already doing, so I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just color from there. I don't know. People, if you know a faster way of coloring in Clips Studio Paint than doing what the fuck I'm doing, tell me. I will appreciate that immensely. You've no idea. I'm so sick of doing this every time I need to color. It takes so long. If there's a way to make my coloring faster, I would appreciate that. Please, I desire help. Plus. So I remember occasionally, like, I'll like message my friend and be like, what the fuck is my program doing? And she's like, what's wrong? Like, this. Like, she was the one that found out that my DPI was too low, because I was like, what the fuck? Why do these images look like this? And she's like, let me see. What's your DPI? This. Oh. How do I change it? Here. Thank you. Thank you. You had no idea how much that saved me. Because this was not working. She's like, it's okay. I got you. I still love the tattoo she did for me. She does like random sheets where she'll be like, oh, who wants a tattoo like this? I want them. Like, she did Ghibli once a while ago, but I didn't have money for a tattoo at that point. And I was like, no, I want them so bad. You don't know how much I want soot sprites, and I want Ponyo. People who don't know, like, I'm getting almost all my tattoos on my arms. That's where all my tattoos are going, on my arms. So far I have one here, and one here. I plan to just do sleeves. None of it will be connected, but it'll just be mostly on my arms. I think the only one I ever thought I'd get on my back would be perhaps my Final Fantasy VII idea tattoo, which is going to be the Buster Sword stuck in the ground, like how it is, with cherry blossoms around it. That's one tattoo idea that I've brought up to my friend a couple times. And she's like, whenever you want it. I'm like, yep, whenever I have money. I'll think about it. Like, now I have technically money for a tattoo, but like, I'm trying to save money and pay off my credit card, so I'm like, eh. I just got a tattoo, and it's been one I wanted for a while, so I'll screw my teeth and wait a bit. Until I have a bit more money, and then I can come back and get the tattoo, next tattoo I want. Unless she draws a sheet at that time, then I'm like, I need this. And then I'll probably buy that, because that's how I roll. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. It's what I like. Don't know, that's a Robin Williams joke. That's the leader of North Korea. Clay Aiken. I think it's the dead one, yeah, the one that died. Someone who knows practically fuck all about North Korea, except for when I learned in high school. Which was, you don't want to go to North Korea. And if you do go to North Korea as an outsider, there are very select places you go. It's very much a... what is it, like a paraded tour? I don't know what the word is for it is, but basically it's a very scripted tour. We're like, look, no, look, we're fine. See, look. No evil going on here. See? Meanwhile, everyone's like, yeah, there's evil going on there. Fine. We know better. My sister's very into, like, communism and stuff like that, which is great. Communism, that's good, but, like, one day she looked at me and she's like, I think China's got the right idea. And I just looked at her and I said, look up Chinese concentration camps. And she just looked at me and went, what? And I'm like, yep, look it up. I'm leaving. Sorry. Because my sister goes very, very into her ideals. And then she realizes that, no, sadly there's nowhere in the world where they really got a handle on this shit. I think like one of the best societies I ever learned about, which died, which is sad, is like every time I hear about like Sparta was fucking progressive for what day and age it was. It was like, what the fuck? How come the Spartans were doing better than some modern countries are today? What the fuck? These were ancient Greeks and they're just like, we got this. Some people had it together, folks. Coloring in. I can do the white. say about these two? I'm trying to think, like, how would I do the AU where, like, Jazz, like, lives and, like, actually stays with Stargazer when she's small? And one of the things I have with the main AU is that, like, she's put into stasis. But, like, it's not a full stasis, so, like, she does age. Let's go on over here. Where is that? That's my alarm. I forgot about that. I have an alarm set for when I work at my other job that I just keep on at all times, because fuck it, it's at 7 o'clock at night, so it's not that big of a deal. It's basically my signal of, if you aren't counting tails yet, you should probably start doing that, because it is time. It is time. I barely ever need it. I just set it just in case. Just in case something goes really wrong. I'm trying to think how I write that. I if like Jazz did that. Probably have like an Autobot distress signal that they find. And, like Optimus and Ratchet would probably go out to like check it out. I can imagine like in the crash that would be kind of like how his pod would break and that would make his signal like recognizable to Ratchet's sensors, and he's like, shit, like they're Autobots. So of course they go to examine it, and then they find Jazz in stasis, clutching a sparkling. She'd probably age a bit, but not nearly as much as she did in the original universe. Ratchet. Like Ratchet would be like, holy shit, that's Jazz. I'm gonna have to write that down actually after I'm done with my stream. It's been like one I've thought about in my head, but I've never actually written down. But I think I might have to write that down, because that might actually be an easier version to write than the one I'm trying to do. I just like talk myself into a better idea. I think I did. Good job today, Brain. You have done well. Good job, me. I'm recognizing shit. Come up with an interesting AU, and now my brain's like, you need to write this down, and I'm like, but brain, we're drawing. We'll do it afterwards, I swears. It's a better faceplate color than what I have on there. I think it is. Where's that down? Lovely's gem plate color. I just realized I didn't draw his audios. I'm almost done with this drawing. Holy shit. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. Holy shit. I'm sorry for this, guys. I'm determined to finish this drawing, though. It's like 7 o'clock at night. I still have fanfiction to write. What the fuck have I done? Oh well. That'll work tomorrow. I can sleep in again. Hopefully not nearly as much, because my cat is getting on my nerves. Every time, like, I convince myself, like, I can sleep in, my cat decides, hey, human, you are never allowed to sleep in again. You know, on days where I don't think I can sleep in, she's like, you're fine, don't leave. And I'm like, why do you like this when I need to leave? When I don't, you're just like, I'm going to make all the noise, all of it. I need people to know I live here, and that I am the boss. I am the boss. No, I ain't too flawless, and no, I ain't the best, and no, I don't say sorry, and no, I ain't perfect, but I am the kitty. my god, this idea is really settling in because I'm just thinking about it, how well it'd work. Like, I imagine because he was in stasis, like, his early, like, sparkling carrier protocols are still, like, fucking firing. Like, I can imagine, like, because Jazz is the kind of bot he is, like, he would very much be like, what the fuck? Like, every time Miko got herself into trouble, like, he'd be there, like, hovering carrier mode, like, what are you doing? Get over here, babies! And, like, he'd be like that with Bumblebee, too, because, like, he knew Bumblebee when he was with Sparklet, and he's like, oh my god, get over here. What's going on? Why are the babies fighting? You imagine, like, after being there, like, not too long after he kind of settles in, he'd be there, like, looking at, like, Ratchet, like, I'm gonna go out into the field and help, and you're the only one I trust to look after my Sparkling. And, of course, because Ratchet is Ratchet, he'd probably be like, yeah, I'll walk after Jazz back in the fucking field. Come on. Do your savey thing so I can continue drawing. It's almost been 4 hours. Need to stop this dream at some point, I swear. So today, even though I did nothing, the day is catching up with me, and my body's like, we need sleep. And I'm like, shut up, we had sleep. And it's like, no, we need more. We require more. Yeah, next week I only have technically today off. Tomorrow off, I mean. It's gonna be another one of those tiresome weeks. I hate my existence.
Got a premonition, I'm dreaming you and I. All my darkest fears are coming outside. We got a billion races, we got this melody. And you can trust me, baby, we got everything. Call me whenever you feel alone, babe. And when you need to cry, I'll be by your side. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. And when you need to escape from 1,000 fires, I'm gonna kiss you wherever you are. And I'm gonna miss you, I will never lie. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. We're running in the jungle of love. Jungle of love. We're running in the jungle of love. Listen to my conditions, I got you on my mind. You were stuck in my head and I don't know why. We got a billion races, we got this melody. And you can trust me, baby, we got everything. Call me whenever you feel alone, babe. And when you need to cry, I'll be by your side. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. And when you need to escape from 1,000 fires, I'm gonna kiss you wherever you are. And I'm gonna miss you, I will never lie. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. We're running in the jungle of love.
almost done. I've streamed. This is probably the longest stream I've done. And that's only because I wanted to finish a single drawing on stream. Happy Valentine's Day, assholes. I'm tired. There. I've done it. No, fuck is. Oh god, I haven't saved it at all yet. Oh god. Oh god, I've done bad. I've done it bad. I've done it very bad. Right? I haven't saved this yet, have I? Nope, I haven't. Oh god. Oh, time to save this. Time to save this. Before I fucking die. Just proud. Kiss me. Alright. Ugh. I've done it! Puh! 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 Let's save this drawing and then end this stream. Oh fuck. Oh god, I'm tired. I spent way too long drawing. Oh, I was even drawing before our stream. Welcome to today, guys. I got a new pen and I got so excited I just drew all day. And now my body's like, you're... No. No. Bad, Yashi. Bad. Go sit down in the corner. I'm like, but body, why? It's like, 'cause you're stupid. That's why. Okay. Save it. Fucking god. Alright! I did it! Alright, thank you guys so very much for watching my suffering at the end of this. Thank you for watching. Love you guys so very much. If you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe to follow me here on Twitch and all that shit. If you want to see more of my streams, you can check out my backlog here on Twitch and also on my YouTube channel where I post all of my streams eventually. If you want to know what time I'm streaming and what days I'm streaming, go check me out on Twitter, twitter.com/Yashiroreaper, or just set notifications here on Twitch. It'll tell you when I'm live. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. I have a TikTok where I mostly post voice acting, singing, random cat videos. Occasionally stream highlights, but I'm probably not going to post that many anymore because they take forever to edit. And oh yeah, if you want to help support everything I do here on the internet, think about checking out my Kofi page, coffee.com/Yashiro. That's ko-fi.com/Yashiroreaper. I'm using the funds currently there to buy myself a new streaming desktop. If you want to read my favorite fiction, check me out on fanfiction.net and AO3. I'm known as Yashiroreaper all across the web. I also have a DeviantArt account. Love you guys. I am so tired. Thank you. I love you. Stay safe. Bye, because I apparently need to write down this fanfiction idea and then go and fuck to bed, because apparently my body does not subsist on any sort of energy anymore. Bye, I love you, bye, 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 everybody. Mwah. Kitty is lying with me. Her feet on my belly, her belly stretched out in her floof, 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 and her sleepy little face. I have a kitty napping with me.